exaggeration to say that at the time he was very nearly torn in two. He was in a coma for 17 days. He sustained horrific injuries, was on his back for 4.5 months and unable to move. Wade wanted, though, to get back to the sport that he loved. He learned to walk again, to move again, and I think this has happened a number of times in Wade's recovery since, and still has ongoing problems with his health that he will share with you shortly. He came back to his favourite sport, water ski racing, in 1998 and competed in the Southern 80 at Echuca. Incredibly courageous simply to compete. Not only did he compete, he won and he broke the record by 40 seconds, and I think that record may have stood until this year when a good mate of yours actually broke the record, which Wade was thrilled with as well. For the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Wade was selected to run with the Olympic torch, also as a leading extreme abled and disabled athlete, and he was selected to lead the Australian team into Stadium Australia for the Parade of Nations at the Games opening. The International Olympic Committee thought that Wade had more than proven himself as an honourable, distinguished athlete of the highest order. Since then, Wade has competed as a disabled sprinter. In, I think in one of his first events, he won gold in 100, 200 and 400 in Sydney in 2002 and set a couple of games records in the process. At the time of these notes, Wade had just been through his 50th operation. Talking to him just before I walked in, he's now up to number 63. Not one of those is slowing down his passion for achieving all that he can. After skiing in 2013, this is just bringing to a close, I'll let Wade tell his story of what he's up to right now. But his original major skin grafts came open in a training session. This won't heal again properly as it's pulled apart scar to scar, so Wade has had to give away ski racing for good. He will, though, share his story of what he's up to now, and I think there's something in this for every one of us. Please welcome Wade Bennett to the microphone.
Hi everyone, how you doing? Great to be back here. It's really changed, it's a lot bigger than when I was here. But thank you very much for the introduction, and congratulations to the inductees today that they've all excelled in what they've achieved in life. I'm just going to basically run through what's happened in my life, and it's going to be a roller coaster ride, so hang on tight, but it'll show you how high you can go and how low things can be, but you can always get back to that high point. So with regards to my skiing, growing up here at Wanganui, and at the time we were skiing on the Shepparton Lake. We had a ski club there, so every afternoon on Wednesdays we'd have a learn to ski where we'd take anyone who came up with $1 coin, they'd come up and have a ski and learn to ski. So there was a really big community of us that really stuck together and pushed each other to get to what we thought was just fun, but we didn't realise we were the best in the world. It just happened that we were mates that hung out. We just got really good at it. So I went through the levels of ski racing to ski behind the biggest inboard and outboard, which is the motor in or outside the boat in the world. And I actually hurt myself in '95, as Laurie said, at the Mildura 100, and I was literally torn in half. This proves a bit. It's like basically a chicken wishbone. That was me. I got torn and my insides came out into my wetsuit. It was really full on. Luckily, my guardian angel was there from the SDS, and she jumped in the water, and she felt just inside my wetsuit zip, and she could feel it a little torn, and she wrapped her whole body around it, not having any training to do it. She just instinctively thought, I've got to hold this guy together. And she did not let go from the water to the ambulance boat, to the ambulance, all the way to the Mildura operating table. And she finally let go and everything came out. So they said it's the only reason I'm alive. So I met her a couple of years later, and I couldn't stop saying thank you. She's just my guardian angel. I'll always have the highest regard for her. So coming back from that accident, I had to learn to walk again for the first time with a now paralysed lower right leg because I'd hurt the sciatic nerve in my accident and broken my pelvis hip. It was big. So yeah, learning how to repair a body was something that I took on as some sort of a study. But how do you recover from something this catastrophic in your life? I'd gone from the top of the world, you know, as fit and strong as I could be, to lying in bed for 5 months, and everything that I had was gone. So I had to start again. But if you put together a goal plan, some sort of goal, and you head for that, I guarantee you in life, every goal you head for, if you really want it, you can get it. I promise you that. You've just got to keep that drive going, and don't let anyone tell you not to do it. If you can see the end result, just go for it. Coming out of skiing again after the accident, which was 98, yeah, got the record. And that held until just after the Hall of Fame in 2009, and I broke it again by another 40 seconds. But in between that, I also had to learn to walk again. And my drive for that was the sprinting that was spoken about earlier. And that was at the Gay Games. I'd never, because I'd grown up in a big country town, you don't know who is and who isn't. And it doesn't really matter. That's what I'd like you to take from my story today. It doesn't matter if you're gay, bi, transgender, whatever. We had every one of those in my class. Everyone. So, and all of them achieved great things. So don't ever think you're less because you're born gay, straight, bi, whatever, transgender, whatever you are. So take that in. You can achieve anything. So coming from the Gay Games, what was next? Oh, that's right. I had to lay down again. I had my 8th stomach reconstruction. I've got the mesh holding it together across here. So that was so long in coming. I had to learn to walk again, and my drive after that was coming to the Hall of Fame night and actually telling someone my goal. I wanted to break my record, and it was so far away from where I was just literally, they were having a hard time getting up the stairs out there. It was, when you've got no power left in the bottom half of the leg, it's really hard to get up things like that. So yeah, I started water ski racing again. I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this one more crack. So yeah, hi. So yeah, within a year, I had every single record in Australia in ski racing and disabled, and I set a world first skier to average 100 miles per hour in a race in disabled class. And yeah, it all went from there, and I live in Noosa now, so it's a really nice place to recover. Just go to the beach and hang out. Yeah, I'm recovering. But yeah, risk in your life is not always a bad thing. Don't ever be afraid to take a risk, take a gamble on something. If you think you can do it, do it. Just give it a crack. If it doesn't work, you try it, and you've learned something by doing that. So always remember that. But really, the last thing I'd love to say to you all is, I've got it here. I've called it the attitude of gratitude. And just indulge me for this, just a minute long, and then I'll go out here, don't want to put it in there. We often seem to indulge in self-pity when no one understands us. We haven't enough love, support, money, or time. We feel as if everyone else is luckier, better, smarter, wealthier, and so on. Well, that's all right for a moment or two, but in reality, unless you're living in a war-torn country, drinking putrid water with little else to feed your stomach, you're pretty well off. So keep that in mind if you're having a rough day. You've got it pretty good in Australia. It's not only your right, but your responsibility to embrace and enjoy everything that your wonderful life has to offer you. Every opportunity that comes your way should be explored and travelled. Be the best that you can be and learn everything that you can, and never stop learning. If you get a chance on a plane, read an article, do whatever you can, but never stop learning. It keeps your mind very active. I like my tongue. There we go. If you take hold of life with both hands and run with it, you will achieve greatness. Be passionate about what you do and make a difference. Your time is short in the great scheme of things, when you look back on your incredible journey, as an old coach like me, you can look back with joy, not regret. As you've heard, I've had a lot of bad times, but they always equal out with highs. The accident happened, and And that was the lowest point I could get to. I couldn't talk, I couldn't cough, I couldn't cry, I couldn't laugh. I just had to lie there for months. My whole body was just on full alert. So from that, to go to running with the torch and then going to stay in Australia for the 2000 Olympics holding the Australia sign, I was like, what am I on here, man? This is really cool. But the place was going off. They said Australia and the place erupted. So that was the levelling up of that one. There's always a levelling up, I find, with my experiences. My life doesn't just go in a flat line. It's like a roller coaster. So lastly, I'd just like you to know that you've got to remember that there's only one of you in this whole entire universe. Not another living soul has your eyes, mouth, teeth, hair, or DNA. More than that, not another person has your thoughts or your soul. So be the very best you can be and dance like